You can tune in Stewart Media and Entertainment Network and hear so much better analysis than you will hear on these shows. Scott Van Pelt even went in on them the other day. I should have had that sound ready for you. But let's do this. I do got a quick little sound piece that I want to run for you here. This is going to be J.R. Smith talking about, in particular, his dad, Father's Day, winning Game 7. The emotions are flowing. He's crying throughout the whole piece, man. But for people who appreciate their daddies in their lives, for all the dads who ain't here and that we miss, man. I mean, I almost teared up at this one. Me and my son, I hope my son can feel this way about me someday and realize what, I'm just trying to help him in life right now. And we're kind of butting heads a little bit, man. But just listen to this. The Gov will be right back with you. This is J.R. Smith at the podium after Cleveland won during his press conference.
Today's Father's Day. I remember listening to an interview with you talking about working at your father's construction job and knowing that that's not what you want to do with your life. Can you just talk about the role that he's played in your life and what it means to you to be able to share this moment with him?
I mean, my parents, my family, that's the biggest inspiration in my life. I've been in a lot of dark spots in my life, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to get out of it. But they are who they are. They fought with me. They yelled at me. They screamed at me. They loved me. They hugged me. They cried with me. And they always stuck by my side, no matter right or wrong. And I know a lot of people don't have their parents in their life, their mother or their father, but I got the best two you can ask for, I swear. There's 6 of us, and they didn't treat any of us different. They loved us the same. They treat us all the same, and I just want to be like them when I grow up. I mean, my dad is easily one of my biggest inspirations to play this game. And to hear people talk bad about me, it hurts me because I know it hurts him. And that's not who I am. And I know he raised better, and I know I want to do better, and just everything I do is for my parents and my family. I mean, I don't really... The cars is nice, the houses is nice, but none of this matters without them. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. I don't know where I would be. Honestly, if it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for the structure and the backbone that I have, I wouldn't be able to mess up and keep coming back and being able to sit in front of you as a world champion.
Wow. Well said, young man. Well said. Bravo. Gov will give you a little hand on that himself, man. That, my friend, and always remember that. Yeah, we admire them for their athletic ability, but they're just people in the end. J.R. Smith knows he hasn't done the right things at times. He knows he's on the path, man. He's trying to get straight. He's trying to do right. And by the way, his dad was about 10 feet away from him at this press conference. It was a beautiful sight if you catch the visual on one of the sports shows. And Grego says, that's the most I've heard JR speak. Exactly. That's why I was glad to get that sound bite. It was 2 minutes, and I think in 2 minutes right there, J.R. Smith really let you into his world and let you know that he is a work in progress, as we all are. And, hey, let he is who without sin cast that first stone, man. So, J.R. Smith, I hope you keep going the right way, man. He's got a great future. And that's just what it's about, man. Your family, your parents, like he said, all the material stuff's nice, but it's your family, man. I got a great one. I love my mom and dad to death. They, my dad has worked very, very hard to support this family and to teach me right from wrong and show me how to stay on the straight and narrow. And I really hope you guys, and I know you do. I know you, most of us out there have really good parents, and we all say our parents are the best, as we should. But, man, I really love my folks, man. So, J.R. Smith, very, very good sound bite there that I was very happy to hear. And, again, you know, what are the haters going to say? How can you hate that? How can you hate that? I mean, again, I didn't have any dog in the fight, but, man, I was, you know, after hearing this, glad to, you know, I'm happy for Cleveland. My main man, Easy Does It, is in the chat room on Sports Done Right. What's up? Appreciate you stopping by, partner. Sports Done Right again on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Now, Ryan Russillo, and this is a very, very interesting article here, folks, that came out today. A bunch of different sports feeds. I think I might have caught it on Sporting News. And the article is titled, "We Weren't Allowed to Disagree with Skip Bayless." Now check that out. We were not allowed to disagree with Skip Bayless. Let's take a gander and see what old Ryan was talking about, shall we? Now, Ryan, and again, this story by Liam McGuire on awfulannouncing.com is the feed that's coming through here. The worldwide leader in sports media blogs, it's called. Could be a very interesting website. But anyway, Ryan Russillo, Danny Cannell aren't shy about how Skip Bayless was treated differently compared to other opinionated personalities at ESPN. Speaking on ESPN Radio's Russillo and Cannell show Monday, the duo started to discuss Bayless after a caller kind of, you know, got him going. And here's Russillo, quote, "Here's my thing. If I had a position where I kept saying Tom Brady was the worst all time, and there's really a lot of evidence that tell you he's not the worst, or if I say Brady's Super Bowl, you know, he could have done it without David Patton, that kind of stuff. If Dan Lebitard went out and said, I can't believe Russillo said this, or Mike and Mike can't believe Russillo said this, I would be okay with this. But I may disagree with them, but I would be okay with it. The problem is when you disagree with Skip, you're not allowed to. Then he gets mad at you about it. So, like, nobody wants to deal with it. And that's when the LeBron stuff comes up. If you're going to be so clearly doctoring the results to keep pushing that you don't like LeBron or you don't think he's any good, then go ahead and keep doing it because it's clearly great for business. But you can't get mad at other people's opinion or at other opinion people for being like, well, that's just insane, and I don't even know if you believe it. That's always been the point with any of that stuff. So, a lot of shade coming out now on old Skip Bayless. And I love it. Can't stand that fool. Grego says Awful Announcing's a pretty good source. Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye on that for future sports news. Grego also says, just reminds me of how hard Tom Brady is fighting for his truth at his parents. Okay, thank you, Grego. RC, very good point. Skip also said once that Johnny Manziel would be a bigger star in the city of Cleveland than LeBron James. Ponder that nonsense for a quick minute. And again, Vince Wright, Sports Done Right, Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Ponder that nonsense. Johnny Manziel. How in the world can you even utter that? Even before Johnny Manziel had these troubles, that is the most asinine thing you could ever say. Man, it makes you mad that these ideas are spewed, and this guy makes millions of dollars off of uttering nonsense. Complete nonsense. And you could definitely check out the podcast, Russillo and Cannell. That was Monday's show, ESPN Radio. And hey, you know what? As much hate as I've given ESPN, man, let me say this. Hats off to some of these jokers that are finally starting to speak up over there. You know, hats off, finally. RC in the chat room from the great city of Duluth, Minnesota says, notice that Jalen Rose never came back on the show after he ethered Skip and the two live stews. Exactly. That was actually, I'm glad you brought it up, homie, because that's where I was going with it. Ryan and Doug have made a very nice living ripping these asinine views of Skip Bayless. For, what did they say, 4 or 5 years they were going back and forth with ESPN? And, I would love Doug's take on this, and maybe we can get him to talk about it on his show. Or, hey, maybe we can get Doug Stewart on our show. The great mentor himself. But, yeah, it's nonsense, man. It is just nonsense. Jalen Rose took him to school. You saw what happened. Exactly, Broncos boy. He goes, who the hell's Skip Bayless? Debo? From the Friday films there, Big Debo? You got to wonder. I mean, it definitely seems like, Skip, along with a very, very few other people there, had a lot of pull, a lot of cachet, a lot of swag at ESPN. ESPN obviously retooling. They're losing money on cable subscriptions. Can't afford to pay them big contracts anymore. So now we're starting to see these new faces, these younger people getting shots. And who knows, man. I will say this. Keep the talk coming. I love it. Russillo, Cannell, Bomani Jones. Obviously, he's not scared to have some takes. Dan Lebatard, who I've never really been a fan of, but I will give him a little bit of respect in that he does cross some lines as well and does break out some race issues that do need to be talked about, and we can definitely appreciate that. The host of the Kickin' It with Kesey show, my main man, Kesey, is in the house.
Coming straight from the A.
Kick it with your boy Kesey at www.kesey.com. This show covers some of the realest issues trending today. He'll keep you locked in from the first listen. You can find him online on his mobile app or at KYSII.com, XSquadAffiliates.com, iTunes, Google Play, and especially on the SME Network on Tuesdays at noon. You don't want to miss it.
That's right. That's the Kicking It with Kesey show. Our main man Kesey covering all the hottest trending topics in the world today. Lots of great guests doing his thing. And also keep an ear open because when Mrs. Kesey is on there, man, those two going at it are phenomenal. So what up to Kesey, and welcome to the Sports Done Right, brother. X-Squad affiliate. All right, man. So we've been talking about Cleveland here. We've been going over that. And again, we're almost an hour in. The Sports Done Right. Let's do this, man. Let's shift it over to the other side of the aisle. The team that had the best overall regular season record, 73-9. I don't know how you feel about that. Did you want them to go for this record? Do you think they overplayed their hand? Do you think these guys were just simply tired at the end of the season? Like I said, I don't think Curry was 100%. I'm not saying he was badly injured, but I think he's beat up, and they've already talked about some impending surgery from him that's coming. A few things that they're going to have to look at in Golden State. And one of these things, and I got a few of them written down here, and I've also taken some information from ESPN and CBS Sports to compile this information. So shout outs there, so props. But check it out, man. Golden State. Number one, can you get KD? Can they get Kevin Durant, people? Let's talk about that in the chat room.